Hi guys, my name's John. Welcome to Daily Theology. A California judge is allowing the La La Land County to ban worship services at MacArthur's Grace Community Church. The official first ruling is in, and they say no to the church. They say no meeting, indoors or outdoors. It actually kind of sounds like a Dr. Seuss rhyme. It says you cannot meet here or there, you cannot meet anywhere. Now, with a mask, without a mask, whatever, you cannot meet because the Dr. Seuss California has said no meeting. And so the initial ruling, I'll go through this article with you. It's going to be appealed and it's going to be a longer process. The interesting thing will be to see what happens to Dr. MacArthur, John MacArthur, Pastor MacArthur, in the time between whenever this actually gets finally ruled on, because I think he may end up going to prison is my initial hunch here. I mean, he's not going to stop meeting, I don't think. And he's 80 years old. He's been faithfully preaching, again, for 50 years. I think he's the best expositor of the Bible in the world, if not one of the best. And so I'll read some of the article and comment as we go. The legal battle between Los Angeles County officials and California megachurch pastor MacArthur is continuing in a superior court, so they're appealing the ruling. A judge issued a preliminary injunction Thursday after refusing to follow the U.S. California state constitutional protection for churches. Well, this isn't surprising. This is exactly what I had a feeling would happen. That's what I said in the very first videos on this, because the ruling fails to apply appropriate constitutional standards, and ultimately that the foundation for our nation is based on God, a presupposition that God created people in His image with inalienable rights. The order prohibits Sun Valley Church from conducting, participating in, or attending any indoor worship services, and also bans outdoor services, and basically, unless onerous restrictions are followed, as heavy-handed move against the internationally known preacher and congregation. MacArthur said that they refused to consider the actual facts of the case in any meaningful fashion, and they ducked the issue. Their legal team said we're disappointed in the ruling, and the preliminary injunction was filed as the court did not apply the strict scrutiny of analysis to the government. You can imagine. Basically what they're saying is they didn't actually address the issue. They didn't uphold the Constitution. It's a temporary setback, according to Jenna Ellis, MacArthur's legal counsel. But we will continue to fight for Pastor MacArthur and Grace Community Church's constitutionally protected right to hold church. Well, the judge did go out of his way to repeatedly state he's not ruling on the merits, only a ruling at a very preliminary stage. Pastor MacArthur is still harmed because he has every right to hold church. Ellis noted, church is essential and no government agent has the authority to stop that, basically has runaway unlimited power to force churches to close indefinitely. The county's argument was basically because we can. Did you get that? Because we can. And they're not paying attention to the protected rights of religious freedom. And they said, we will fight for religious freedom as our founders did when they wrote the First Amendment. MacArthur says this. In an inexplicable ruling, the judge said the scales tipped in favor of the county. Well, no kidding. The county and the nation of California is insane. So this is not surprising. You have to have a standard of morality, justice, ethics, and a God-centric worldview in order to make sense of anything, and they don't have that. So no surprise here in a state that is pushing for the abuse of children in many ways right now. This is no surprise. 1/100th of 1% of Californians with a virus apparently wins over the U.S. Constitution and religious freedom for all, ? That is not what our founders said, nor is it what God says, who gave us our rights and the rights to the government, including our judicial branch, which is supposed to protect. I agree. I think the judicial branch is making law. They're interpreting law, which is what they're supposed to do, but they're actually making laws up. The health department is making laws up, which is trumping the Constitution. As CBN News has reported, sorry, this is a CBN article, but they do have links to the actual rulings and things like that, but this is the most succinct one I could find. Prohibiting them from worshiping in the building or outside from the sound of it. Seems to be a double standard applied to Black Lives Matter protesters who have not been allowed and even encouraged to flood the streets. This is so true. The hypocrisy of this, that they will continue to kill children, they will continue to mob and loot and riot and kill, but MacArthur, who has been faithfully preaching for 50 years, cannot preach because they sing and meet indoors. So I think it'll be interesting to see what plays out, if he will ultimately be arrested because of this. I have a feeling they're going to continue to meet anyways, and it's going to be an epic battle that probably now will go to the Supreme Court because they have a ruling against them, and they're just going to appeal it up, and up they go. So it'll be interesting to see what takes place in the next few months and weeks. Pray for MacArthur and his church. He is a faithful preacher of the gospel, and I wish there were more pastors like Dr. MacArthur, because he is so clear and so theological. And I'm not saying he's right about every single thing, but in this matter, you need to get behind him, because California is the front of the plow, and the plow is going east and the plow is going west. And so be ready to stand up for the gospel in love. And again, we're not bound by a building. We can go proclaim the gospel other places online and things like that. But this is a very significant ruling. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hammer that like button, like the 95 Theses, and I will see you tomorrow. God bless.